guys, just had Cameron's birthday party today. He just turned 6. Here's your clip of that.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cameron. Happy birthday to you.
And Dad and I are in the shop working on the Blazer again, messing around with it. So I've had a problem with the carb running out of gas at full throttle, and you can see that in a couple clips here. Run all the way through and it'd suck the carburetor completely dry, and then it would shut itself off. On top of that issue, I had a heat soak issue. So the filter would obviously get hot, the line gets hot, the gas in there boils really good, so it would boil all of it out. And then you had to wait for it to cool down by sending it more and more gas. It would finally fill the bowls back up and then start to run again. And then depending on how hot of a day it was, it might do that multiple times. If it's a cool day, you don't have any issues with it. You can drive it all around all day long, as long as you don't start hossing around and it heats back up. So now we've changed the electronic fuel pump that was at the rear on the frame rail. We've changed it out with just a filter back there. We've put a new manual fuel pump, a 115 gallon per hour pump, back on the block, so it's got a manual now. And then replace that electronic one with just a filter. So now that runs through there and goes directly to the fuel pump and the end of the engine. So hopefully that alleviates both of those problems, and we'll see what happens. All right, so here's our brand new chrome fuel pump down there. Got new lines coming up to the carburetor here, so that should be good. On around to the side over here, this is where the previous owner had the fuel pump mounted right there on that screw right there. So I just replaced it with the fuel filter, wrapped some radiator hose around it, zip tied it to it, and that should be good to go. So hopefully that'll work, we'll see. Before we finish out this episode, I want to give a shout out to Thermal Zero. They helped me out with the Gallant and getting the turbo blanket for it, and all the products they make are really awesome. So I try to help them out as much as I can, and hopefully we can get a new product going here to help the guys out with either double pumpers or the dual inlet carbs for the fuel lines. Especially with these S10s and the heat soak problems they have, I think it's a great idea for these trucks here. So let me show you what we're talking about. So on the fuel line, you see the fuel line goes up and then goes into the carburetor in two different places. You've got all rubber line, which insulates okay, and then you got this metal line that sits right above the intake. So a whole bunch of heat goes right into the carburetor and into the fuel lines. So if there was a way we could cover that up, that would be awesome, and actually have some kind of insulator on those. So hopefully get some measurements to them today, and then Thermal Zero can work us something out, and then hopefully get these out to everybody. Pretty cool.